Hey, Coach, you've got a fantastic guest tonight. Tom Cummings has been on before. He did a fantastic video, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago on speed option, a couple different ways to run speed option. He is a brilliant offensive mind. He just got off the practice field today. Just started their spring practice this week, and they're pretty excited about what they got coming back. Today, Coach is going to talk about RPOs, and he's going to talk about answers in the RPO game, particularly when man coverage, when they're playing man coverage against you. So, Coach, I appreciate you coming back on, man. You did such a good job last time, and I can't wait. I'm taking notes myself because I'm going to steal a
Well,
couple.
I appreciate you having me on, Coach. Anytime.
Well, let's jump into it, man.
Awesome. Can you see my screen? Not yet.
Not yet.
Let me go ahead and share it here.
All right,
Good, Coach.
Yep.
Oh. All right. So first off, I'm not original, just like any other football coach. So the play on words, Mansters, comes from Brett Dearman. I got to give him credit for that. He's one of those guys that has really got into a lot of the 11 personnel RPO stuff, blocking C gap to C gap. We're a little bit different in that we're a lot of 10 personnel. So we're really a little bit different, but that's where the idea of Mansters comes from. And we'll talk more about that coming up in a sec. But I believe if you're an RPO team, there's several things that you kind of have to address and you have to answer. Okay. One of which, hold on, I have some issues here. I'll just keep it up here. One of the things that we kind of have to look at is the idea of reps in our offense, and how much can we really carry, because there's so much RPO stuff out there nowadays that you kind of have to make it simple for your quarterback, in that you got to teach it the same way. So there's a lot of stuff where you got some pre-snap RPOs, you got some second level RPOs, you got some third level RPOs where you're reading safeties. We try to make it as easy as possible for the quarterback. So that's one of the things that I think you really need to address. How do you make it teachable for those guys? And in that, making some base rules that apply to any formation. So we do some stuff out of spread, 10 personnel. We also do some H-back stuff where we're keeping it the same for the quarterback. I think you also need to make sure that you're taking advantage of the whole field, pre-snap, post-snap, because you'll have a lot of times that a lot of teams that will sling coverage one way or another. You'll have teams that disguise stuff pre-snap and then they're in something else post-snap. So you got to have answers for all that kind of stuff. Definitely man coverage. We're going to discuss that as one of the answers for defenses, and some of the ways that we address that. Again, these are just some things that we do. You might have some answers of your own, but it's definitely something you need to kind of think about. And then as far as run schemes, I'm going to show you some clips with just inside zone, because that's kind of the easiest way to run some of the RPOs, just inside zone and just kind of lock your backside tackle. Last year, especially towards the end of the year, we started getting into a lot more pin and pull. We saw some three-man front teams, especially some tight fronts where you got those guys in four eyes. So pin and pull was really good to us towards the end of the year. We've also done RPOs off long trap as well. So it really doesn't matter what run schemes you want to marry this with, as long as you're basically blocking the five most dangerous in box. So the way we teach it for a quarterback, and also kind of receivers, is we always have kind of a front side and a back side of the concept. So however you call your plays, whether it's numbers, whether it's hot, cold, whether it's true, false, whatever your directional calls is, one of the first things we teach both our quarterbacks and our receivers is where's the front side of the concept, where's the back side of the concept. So when we're talking about the front side, that's our pre-snap side. So we're talking to the quarterback, we get to the line of scrimmage. Do we have a soft corner or an uncovered receiver? If that's the case, we're taking 5 yards every day, all day, and we're making them tackle our guys in space. All right, especially the outside guy. A lot of times you'll see that cover three look, corners bailing. If we got the hitch, take it. The other thing we're looking for is tight man coverage, and this might be kind of different than a lot of teams do it. If we see that I got man coverage, I don't care what the run play is, I don't care what the post snap option is, I'm gonna take that every day. So whether it's the outside guy or the inside guy, we want to take some shots, because as a play caller, you always want to have kind of that one-on-one opportunity. So if we see that and we got a run play called, I don't necessarily want to check it. I want to have some way to kind of built into our play to kind of get to that. Now, on the the post snap side, that's our back side. The way that we do it, we're always reading the sixth defender. So in our spread 10 personnel stuff, that's that backside inside linebacker. So if they're a 4-down team, we're always blocking 4 down to the play side Mike. We're reading that backside guy. If you're playing a 3-3 stack team, you're reading that stack linebacker. 3-4 defenses, you're reading that backside overhang. So whoever that sixth defender is, and that's something week to week we talk about every week. Who's the guy that we're reading, and where is it exactly is he at? So sometimes he's definitely in the box. We know it's almost play action for us. Sometimes he's walked out, take away number 3 in trips, and it turns into a 5-man box, and we're going to hand the ball off. So pre-snap, we're looking to the front side, post-snap to the back side. Now, when we get to the back side, he decides to pull it. Whatever your concepts are, we always have somebody replacing that defender, and we always have somebody in the flat. So, like, think of like double slants. He's going to read it inside out, inside slant, outside slant. Okay, your stick concept, we're going to read stick to speed out. You always have somebody coming into the void where that defender is that sixth defender. Now, we're talking to the quarterback. If we're ever not sure, and we had kind of a situation there in the practice field, we are talking about something, one of the reads he didn't particularly like. I said, if it's ever cloudy, hand the ball off. When in doubt, give it. Because what we're really trying to do with our RPOs is we're trying to open up that box. Okay, a lot of this fancy stuff, okay, people think it's just to throw the ball to the place. It's really not. It's to control those conflict defenders so we can run the ball against a 5-man box. Also, if we decide all of a sudden we're going to pull it and the quarterback realizes, oh crap, I'm wrong on this one, just follow your running back up the hole. Okay, don't compound your mistake and make it even worse. So, and that happens from time to time. So that's what we're teaching quarterback, receiver. We really stress front side, back side, front side, back side. So this was week 1 for us. That's one of the first things day 1 install. Okay, we talked about that on the board. We walked through in the field. Okay, and it doesn't matter once we get to from inside zone to pin and pull. It's the same rules for the guys, front side, back side. Now, as far as the sixth defender, how are we going to stop this on defense? Okay, how are they going to stop this? All right, so I got basically just a stick RPO drawn up. This is just your basic zone stick. Now, if you've got a fold defender here, okay, somebody's working the B gap and trying to work on the stick, he's your conflict defender. So defenses really don't want to put guys in conflict. So there's a couple ways that they can get away from that. So one of the things we talked about, man coverage. If we walk one of the safeties down, he plays on the slot. Okay, somebody covers up the stick. I don't love it. Now, there's some things we can do with the stick route, turn that into like a pivot or something like that. There's some things we can do there, but we got to have some better answers. The other thing teams like to do, and I know we talked about this too, you and me individually, is teams will try to rob that safety down and take away this void right here. So they'll rob down. One of the things that we like to do off that is kind of build in some play actions where we have similar stems. So, like, for example, if we see the safety robbing down, instead of running stick, we'll get in the same formation. We'll go trips, running back to strong side. We'll fake this, and we got to play action off that. So we'll go stick and go here. Usually this guy, he runs like he's going to the flat, and he'll replace back underneath. So I think it's really important to have some play actions that look like your RPOs as well. If you got those safeties coming downhill hard, have something off of that, take a shot. All right, specifically, want to talk about some man answers. So one of the things that we'll talk to the quarterback about is whether or not we're in a normal down and distance. So if it's 1st and 10, it's 2nd and 7, really anything but 3rd down in a certain situation. So like if we get into something like 3rd and 6, I don't love it in like 3rd and 6, 3rd and long. But if it's a normal down and distance situation, okay, what we want to do is we want to take advantage of that pre-snap gift. And we'll talk more about that in a second. I want to take advantage of the guy on the outside. One-on-one, you give me man. Now, when I say man, I'm talking about either 1 or 0. You give me man, I'm going to take that shot. Now, if they're in 2-man, obviously that means that you got a 5-man box, hand it off all day. So in a normal down and distance situation, I love throwing that pre-snap gift. We're going to take a shot, and it's not just so much a stop. It's if I get pressed, we're going over the top. Now, checks, okay, normal down and distance, okay, I love just taking pre-snap. If I don't like it, okay, let's say I get a 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, right? They're walked up man coverage across the board, 4-2 cover 1, right? Yeah, I could take a shot, but I'm going to get yelled at by my head coach when I'm throwing fades on 3rd and 1, right? That's not the highest percentage play. So a couple things you could do. You could just check the straight zone read, or you got to have something built in on the backside as far as a man beater. So that's one of the things I want to go over today. One of our favorite man beaters as well. So let's talk real quickly about some of the pre-snap stuff. So what we'll do is we'll see. Okay, so we got that cover one look. All right, we got press across the board. Let's take a shot. Now I can go ahead and give a gift to any of those receivers pre-snap. Okay, so if it's the outside guy, okay, I like my matchup. Okay, one-on-one, we'll take it. All right, so we talk to him. Okay, he's got a signal to the quarterback. Quarterback has to signal back so that we're all on the same page. And if he doesn't give the signal back to the quarterback forgets about it, and we play ball post snap. All right, so if it's the outside guy, he's running a fade. And what we're going to do is we're going to teach the inside guy to protect him. So what we'll have a lot of times is we'll have some pretty smart defensive coordinators in our area. They'll walk up, which looks like press, and all of a sudden it turns into press bail, and now they're in cover three. So if we didn't have something to protect that, then we're in trouble. So like if we're running the outside guy on the fade, the inside guy is going to run to the flat. Just your classic Friday out, your fade out. If we're tapping the inside guy, we like the one-on-one matchup, the inside guy, run our slot fade. We're going to protect him by the outside guy, run a stop route. That way, same concept. If that corner bails, I have somebody in the flat. So you always have somebody going over the top for a home run, but just in case they get some sort of version of cover three, okay, press bail, we got somebody, we got an answer for that. It's not an oh crap, and then we're in trouble. Now, if we want to run it out of trips, not a problem. Okay, again, this is our front side of our concept. We can run either way in trips, right? So I can run my gift pre-snap to a single side. Okay, he's got the fade pre-snap. Right? If we get press cover one, a lot of times you'll see teams that like to rotate the field in trips. We get that one-on-one matchup, take it. We could also go ahead and give it to the trip side, whether it's number one or number two. So number one could run the fade, number two the speed out. Okay, we just run a stop route by number three. All right, I could give it to number two. He runs the slot fade. Number one still runs the stop as well. I don't really like it to number three only because he's tight of the box and he really has to work out to get away from the safety. So very rarely would we ever signal number three to run a fade. So if I get a normal down and distance situation, I want to take a shot. One-on-one, let's be aggressive. Now, as far as communication goes, like I mentioned earlier, quarterback and receiver have to be on the same page. Usually the receivers are the ones that see it first. They say, oh crap, I got man-to-man coverage and he has no help. So usually he'll see it first and he'll tap the quarterback and signal to him, and then the quarterback needs to signal back. And if they don't both signal, okay, forget about that pre-snap option. I'm reading my post-snap. So I'm looking at that backside inside linebacker, looking at my conflict defender. Quarterback and running back have a call. In fact, every year I let them go ahead and come up with their own call. I don't even care what it is, as long as they're on the same page. So quarterback will just turn to the running back. He'll let him know that he's not meshing. He's going to catch and he's going to rip that ball out there as quickly as he can. The running back is responsible for making a good mesh, okay, faking like he's got the football still, but quarterback is never going to mesh with that guy just so that we don't hit the quarterback's arm, so that nothing happens. So he's letting him know. Now, we're not talking at all to the offensive line. We're not talking at all to the backside receivers. They have no idea that we're throwing it pre-snap, nor does it matter. That quarterback's got to get that ball out real quickly, and it won't matter one bit. A lot of guys are worried about, are we going to get called for penalties downfield? Coach, I've been doing this a long time, and I think we've got called for lineman downfield once, and it wasn't on any of the pre-snap stuff either. I want to show this real quickly and kind of put some film up this. Okay, this is one that I know you and me talked about, Coach. A backside tag as far as a man beater. And to be honest with you, our 3x1 versions kind of replaced Y corner in the air raid. So we teach it. It's kind of a rub slant, if you will. So what we're teaching is we're teaching this outside guy, kind of like a lot of guys do on corner, to foot fire, and we're teaching him to stem outside. By stemming outside, we're turning the hips of the corner so that he can't see the rub coming. Okay, this guy, the inside guy, is going to rub through the inside shoulder of the corner. Okay, keeping in mind that the corner is not going to stay stationary. As soon as the corner sees him breaking on the slant, he's going to adjust his angle. So this guy has to rub through the inside of the corner. Okay, and we're going vertical. Now, if we're running this out of 3x1, okay, the third guy is bubbling. He's going to the flat. Now, to be honest with you, I like it a lot of 3x1 because we do run bubble. And so what this kind of looks like is your typical, I got my zone with my bubble, which is one of the first RPOs that a lot of teams run. Zone bubble, zone bubble. So it looks exactly like zone bubble. And then all of a sudden, this guy chases the bubble and we got something coming right here. Now, I like it a lot more. To be honest with you, I like it more than corner because you got a pretty good chance for some run after the catch. This guy, once he clears full speed, okay, a lot of times this guy chased the bubble. There's no one home. He's one on one with the safety. Now, you might notice I put a little line up here. This is something that we haven't done yet. It's something I picked up in a clinic this spring at one of the college clinics where they're actually reading this post snap. So a lot of times you're hoping that it's man coverage, but what if it's not? So, like for example, in our 2x2 version, what if this backer is sitting here? What if this corner drops and bails out? So what if it's some sort of zone instead of man? So the team that I picked this up from, I'm not throwing one on the bus, but he's going vertical until this corner is bailing and he is capped vertically. And he decides at about 12 to 15 yards, he's going to break it back in, almost like a levels concept. So you kind of have a high low built into that. So that's something we've been working on a little bit, something we're going to try to add to it this year, but it's also an answer for zone coverage. So what I want to do is kind of show, I've got my information here, I'll share at the end, but I wanted to show some clips of this in action. And I'm a big proponent of, you're going to see some good stuff and you're going to see some stuff that's not great either.